Okay, I just got so bent out of shape over some stupid stuff. Greetings, everybody. Anyway, I'm looking at this spot underneath my eye. I've had such a dry skin right here that it's been like. I finally last night decided to start putting a little lotion right under there, and I've got to continue to do that. I'm trying to get rid of it's like this dry, flaky. I don't know, but that's not what this video is somehow. And it's welcome to the Fellowship of the Clouds. Yeah, the channel is Gray Cloudy Day, and I am known as Gray Cloud, the sage of the eternal moment. Whoever you are watching right now, if you can, please hit the like button. It does not take a lot of energy, and it doesn't cost anything. If you're not subscribed already and you have watched at least a video or two, or this is the first time you're watching, you don't have to hit subscribe right this second if this is the only video you've ever seen. But if you're interested and you get to the end of the video, please think about it. Anyway, let's get on with what this is about. I mentioned this in the Don't Sweat the Small Stuff video earlier. I had a video that was a little over 30 minutes long that I made yesterday evening after church. Yesterday afternoon. And I was going to upload it this morning. Well, I think I mentioned this in those Sweat Small Stuff, but I'm trying to just touch base. And so if you didn't see that, you'll know exactly kind of the dilemma I was in. Last night, in notifications, Google was suggesting that I clear out some space so I could free up some space on my phone. And that, it's good to do that from time to time. I don't have an SD card. So, but I have a lot of stuff that the only way that I would be able to get it is to go, like as far as my YouTube channel, I'd have to go into my YouTube channel eventually if I want those videos on my own hard copy, like on a SD or a USB or whatever, so that, if God forbid something happens and whatever, I can at least go back and re-upload them if I have my own actual copies, not just in the clouds. I mean, I got some of it in the clouds, but the cloud or whatever you want to call it. I'm Cloud. So, long story short, because I freed up space, then that means that 30-something minute video, it's in my Google storage, but I cannot for the life of me remember how I've done it before. There's been a few times that I'm able to go into old photos that's not on my phone and haven't been on any device in a couple of years. I can go back, especially with I know how, like I did it the other day with my phone. Well, no, I didn't do it the other day, but I just can't remember how to do it. So I took it. I'm taking that as the Spirit just is saying, like it's a lot easier to just try to do this, to just do it again. Because I remember exactly what I talked about yesterday and all that kind of stuff. And there's only one thing that I may not say exactly. Like I may not share one certain thing that I shared in the video yesterday that I was going to upload this morning. So that being said, where am I at here? When I said that I was frustrated just a second ago, it's because I done started trying to do this video again. And I was like, probably about 13 minutes in. And somehow my hand was over here to the side of the phone. And I don't know what I was saying. I don't know how I did it, but I hit there's a little arrow there. And I accidentally hit that and it pulled. Like I was in the middle of recording, that accidentally got hit, so that recording stopped. So I had not fully got to where I wanted to be yet. And there's somebody trying to call me, and I'll just call them back because it is Michael Hernandez. And he tried to call me earlier, and I was in the middle of something, and I tried to call him back about 20 minutes ago. But he was probably on the other line or busy. He was probably off his truck having to do something to the chassis, or I don't know. He drives a truck. Let's get back to the point here. I'm trying to get to the point. And do I have a point? I don't know. I think I do. I know that there's a point here to be made. So what I want to talk about briefly before I go in, there's an issue that I have personally with carnal desire and lust and stuff like that, and I will discuss a little bit of that after I discuss what I think is most important right this second. So yesterday in church, Gray Cloud, don't get upset because the dogs are barking. Just like he just got upset. For just a split second, I was so bent out of shape when I accidentally stopped that recording just 5 minutes ago. Shut up! So, basically, yesterday in church, there was a lot of synchronicity. The Sunday school lesson coincided with much of what I've been sharing in the reflection videos, which this is like a fourth reflection. And it coincided with the scripture that I read yesterday morning before I went, because part of the lesson yesterday was from Peter, 2 Peter, but I was in 1 Peter, but I just ended 1 Peter, and I just started 2 Peter today. So it made sense once I figured that out. I was like, oh, okay, that's why everything's clicking. But there was something that the pastor came to say towards the end of the service before there was some more praise and worship before we all left, or, it was really over. And he was talking about people's prized possessions. Matter of fact, he asked his wife to stand up, and because he had asked, I guess he was trying to make some kind of point, and he was already thinking about this a day or two before. I don't know. I'm not a pastor, but I imagine that's how it worked. So he had asked her this question, what's your most prized possession? And she came back with, so he asked her to stand up and say, he was saying, I asked her and tell him what you told me. And she said her wedding ring. So he's talking about physical possessions. Some people may have a fancy car or an old car that they just love, and that's their prized possession. Somebody might have whatever. That led me to write down here. I wrote down, make a video today, touch on prized possessions. Well, I've always been this way in my life. There have been some things in my life that I probably held pretty dear in my life, or to my heart, as far as physical possessions. But I have had so many different physical things over and over, and different collections of different things and all kinds of stuff, only to just end up in a space where I had nothing but the clothes on my back, and that was it. Not even a tent to live in or anything. But, in all of those situations, it did not take very long before I had some way. This was a lot of times on the streets, but, I could not have anything other than the clothes on my back. And before I knew it, I'd have a tent, and I'd have more clothes than I knew what to do with, and more other things. I'd have almost barely any room to lay down and sleep in the tent. So what I'm saying is, I have no real physical prized possession. I was saying before I accidentally stopped the other recording, the only thing that I could say physically that may upset me if something happened to him would be my folders with some writings and notes and all that kind of stuff. But all of that can be done again. So it's not even, I might be a little disturbed if something happens to this stuff, but I don't hold it so dear that, So basically, I wrote down here, I have no physical possession that I prize. I don't have what they say is a prized possession physically. But my prized possession, I'm going to tell you, is my relationship with the Christ, with the Creator, with Big Kahuna. I hold that dear. And that's a possession that it's not a physical possession, but I hold it dear. I wrote down here, everything I possess can be gone, but I'll still hold dear my faith and the loving relationship with my Creator. And then at the point in the video yesterday that I was going to do this morning or upload, I had already shared about my carnal lust problem, because that's what I went. I'd shared a little bit about church, and then I went off into something that was really bothering me and that I feel like I have to deal with. But right after I had kind of shared, I didn't go into no detail and I didn't mention anybody's name, but there was a particular thing that's happened just the night before yesterday, like which was a Saturday night, where I was in a back and forth messaging situation. We weren't on the phone, but we were messaging. And I finally, like, I'd been so standoffish for a while with this person. And then I kind of was like, okay, there's somebody that was acting as if they might want a relationship. And I finally was like, okay, I'll play this game. We'll see what might happen. See if it. But I'll tell you, I'm not looking for any romance. Now, I told my friend David yesterday, if it was to align and I meet somebody and we make a good team and we really enjoy each other's company and we make good friends and it moves into a direction that potentially becomes a romantic style relationship, partnership, I'm not objected to that, but I'm not out here looking for it. I have not physically been with anybody, whether it be in an actual relationship or even sexually, since Sarah died in 2018, and at that time I had not saw Sarah physically in, like, I think it had been about 8 months. So during that time, she was gone from Morgan to North Carolina, back up to Pennsylvania before she died and everything. I had briefly hung out with a woman for a very brief moment, like maybe a week, before I was so sick of, because I was very intimate to the woman. I'm not looking for a girlfriend. You're my friend, and we did get down a little bit, but I was like, I'm not trying to be in some. Anyway, that's really neither here or there. What I'm discussing, the reason I bring this up is because yesterday I kind of went in a little bit more detail than I probably want. But the reason I realized this is because I done shared about this certain situation. Like, I have enough issues. And I'll speak for myself, but I do know that in the world, there's a lot of people that have this same issue, men and women. Men are not the only ones that find themselves addicted to porn or sex addicts or whatever. There's a lot of women that are. And matter of fact, like I said the other night, it went in a direction of, there was some very sexual oriented discussion back and forth and all that. Let's not go any further in detail about that. That's my own thing that I have to address. If this person does message me, I didn't hear from them all day yesterday, and I didn't feel like, since they didn't message me, I didn't message them to tell them any different. But if they do message me, I have to be able to say, look, I don't want to go in that. I don't want to. We can't. If you want to continue to talk to me, I just cannot go there again, because I have enough issues trying to you know what I'm saying? Like, I'll get a good stretch in where I haven't really, like, or what I consider a good stretch, where I haven't looked at any, like, sexual content, and I'm like, hey, it's been so many days, I ain't even thought about nothing, to where I might not even have any kind of those thoughts or anything. But I swear, man, I can be on Facebook or X It just happened before I started making this video. I was on Instagram and there's some female account that followed me, and I go and looked at her profile, and it's like, in her profile, it's like, I'm here to make you nut. Excuse me if that sounds vulgar, but I mean, I was like, geez. And I don't even know if it's a real account, because a lot of them accounts are just, it might appear to be a real person on the other end, but they're basically just trying to lure you in to get some money out of you. And maybe, maybe it is the real person in the pictures, but I'm not following back because I know how this works. As soon as I follow that account back, I'll get a direct message. It won't take long. That's how it happens every single time. Boom, DM. As soon as I take a chance on that this may be a real person. Now, of course, I've never followed back because of what she's got in her profile. I was like, no, I don't. I'm already having enough trouble. So, and that's just the way it is. And even if I did follow back and I didn't care whether it's a sexual thing or not, I'm not paying her no money, and I don't want to get caught up in that kind of stuff where, I have had something happen to me years back when I lived in North Carolina. I got talked into doing something on a video chat. This is way before you could do video messaging on Messenger or even on your phone. Like you could do, like it was during the early days of Skype. I didn't have Skype, but I was asked to get Skype. Hey, get Skype and we can video chat. Let me tell you, don't fall for that. Because I've known, I've even had a couple of women friends that type of thing has happened to. It's a scam. Like, there's people that have literally killed themselves over this kind of stuff. Literally. After this happened to me years ago, I'm not proud to say it happened, but I got talked into downloading Skype and I used it. And on the other side, there was a female, and she was naked, and she kept pushing the issue. Show me something. Show me something. I held off, resisted as long as I could until finally I was living in a situation where I really just could. But let's just say I finally I did what she was asking, and as soon as I did, instantly it cut off. And then I got a message saying, if you don't wire $10,000 to this so-and-so account, and it was an account that was like down, I think it was down in, where is it? I know it wasn't it wasn't a United States account. It was like an account down there in the Caribbean or something. I don't remember. I'm not ashamed to talk about it because it happened. That's part of something that happened. And boy, I was like, whoa. If you don't think, at first I was like, what the heck? Because I'm like, when that came back, so what had happened was, I didn't know that this was something that people can do. I don't know how, I guess you can still do it, and I don't know how to do it. I probably should learn, because if I ever think that I'm talking to someone, or if we're in a video chat or even a messaging thing, I need to start thinking, like, if it's going in a weird direction, maybe I need to have it recorded so that I can have evidence of something, I see that's, but basically what had happened was, once I finally sent her an image, because she kept asking, there she was, and I was like, okay, this is legit. She's really just wanting to have like this, some kind of, like a video chat sex thing or whatever. It instantly cut off, and she had been recording, or, she had, on her end, she had those images, or that little bit of a snippet of a beast, and was threatening to put it out there on every single social media. Like, I'm going to put it on all your social media accounts. It's going to go up. At that time, I had another YouTube channel where I gave a lot of, I was doing things every month where I'd buy some skateboard decks and different stuff and go around and find like a skateboarder in the town and give them a deck or something if I thought they were worthy, like they were a good skater, even someone that wasn't that great. I was just trying to give back because, I love skateboarding. And at that time, I was able to ride, but it was like, I couldn't do a whole lot. Which, I mean, I've got one that Mike sent me, and I have stepped on it a couple of times, but it's been so long that I'm a little uncomfortable trying to do it right now. Especially, I just had that toe tickle. I don't know if I'll ever be able to actually comfortably ride a skateboard like I would like to. Like, maybe not do tricks, but just ride it. Yeah, whatever. My point being is that this person on the other end was actually there, like it was a female, but it was set up just to intentionally blackmail somebody. So what I did was I got off there and I immediately blocked them because I had encountered them on Facebook at the time. But they had me, download Skype and everything because you couldn't use. I don't even know if Messenger was a thing then. I don't know when they introduced that, but well, I guess there was a messenger, but you couldn't video chat on it. You get what I'm saying? Because somehow I was communicating with her, and she was saying, hey, get Skype, get Skype, get Skype. Trying to talk you into something, And so I just basically had to tell her, hey, I'm on a disability check. I ain't got $10,000 to send it. Go ahead and post whatever you want. Because you know what I did? Like I said, I blocked them. I instantly went to Face account. I blocked her account. I reported the account. And I will say this, and then I went straight to my timeline on Facebook. I don't know if I might have been, I know I was on Twitter at the time. So wherever I was at online, I went and I just threw it out there. Like on Facebook, I said, hey, friends and family, if you happen to see some vulgar images of me, please disregard it. It is me, but I'm trying to take care of it. I just laid it out there. I'm in a situation where someone's trying to tell me if I don't give them money, they're going to let you see. So, but at this point, I had already announced it. The people that really knew me didn't care. It wasn't like they were judging me. I just got myself in a stupid situation that I should have not done. Matter of fact, the other night, I was asked to send an image, and I didn't. And I'm not going to. And I don't plan on talking to this person like that again. If there is any more communication, I really don't care. But I'm trying not to discuss it too much because yesterday in the video, after I kind of went a little too, like I said, I didn't go into great detail, and nobody knows who I'm talking about or anything. But I did get to a point where I have this written on my note where, like in scripture, it tells you, but it's actually referring to like a church setting. Like if you have but I think it is kind of common sense. In other words, if I have an issue with you personally, or you have an issue with me personally, we should try, like whoever the issue is with, I should try to directly sort it out with that said person first. So like in scripture, it talks about like if you have a disagreement with an individual in your congregation, you try to go to that individual first and say, hey, this is my discrepancy, or this is if it can't be resolved mutually between the two of you, then the suggestion is you bring in counsel. Like you try to get someone to mediate it to hopefully resolve it, and there's not an issue anymore. So that being said, when I saw that note, I was like, in my mind, I was like, oh crap, maybe I should. But I was like, I just went with it, and the video ended up being 30 minutes something long, but I couldn't get it up today. No pun intended. You got to admit that was a good one there. I couldn't get the video up, okay? So there you go, that's really all I wanted to discuss as far as that is one particular thing that I am still struggling with. If you've been here for any length of time, you know that I have an issue with alcohol. But over the past couple of years, I've done really good on my alcoholism. There's been a few mishaps where I've chose to, for whatever asinine reason, to just drank for a few days here and there, but as soon as I quickly am able to reel myself back in, get back on the wagon, because I was talking to Michael Hernandez the other day. I said, truthfully, I know that any time I talk myself into doing that, I may not come back from it. Not necessarily mean that like I'm dead right then, but there's always that chance if I take that next drink that I don't ever stop again. So, that being said, since I have a little over a month again sober from alcohol, because I am transparent, I don't mention it all the time, but sometimes I smoke a little bit of greenery, if you know what I mean. No, I don't. It is not. It's not something that I do and put first, though. I thought when I originally quit drinking that would probably be the issue. Because anytime in the past that I tried to quit drinking, what I did was I smoked twice or triple or 4 times as much as I did when I was drinking. You know, not cigarettes, you know what I'm saying? And it's not been really that. I mean, there's from times to times. I mean, I'm bad about, like, I can spend too much money on action figures. I can spend too much money on anything that is really not a necessity if I don't watch it. It's just human, or, you know, I have a compulsive nature sometimes, you know, and I did go in the video yesterday. I did kind of go into a little bit of detail about when I was in my 20s and some things I did. And I'm not ashamed of that either. That's just life. I don't regret anything I've done. I wouldn't be me if I hadn't have done these things and made them choices. I wouldn't be where I'm at today and be able to share the experience I have. I do remember yesterday in that video saying I was discussing something about in my early 20s discovering, well, you know, first I got really big into strip clubs, and then I discovered in Nashville, Tennessee, that massage parlors are just a front for basically brothels. So you can take your imagination to wherever you want to on that. But I did also say this, and I will say it again. And you may not believe me, but I really don't care. I know my heart. Many of the times that I was paying for someone's time, it really was more about I just was lonely. I don't know how many times I did that, and then the said person or whatever I was in negotiation with being totally thrown off because that it wasn't all about, hey, I paid you this money and I want only what I want. They were so used to, you know, someone paying and just getting off, and then they were done and they went on to the next person, where, like, I would actually want to have, you know, I was paying for your time. So if I'm paying you for your time, I don't care necessarily that we were having sex. I wanted to talk. I wanted to have someone there to hang out with, because I didn't know how to, you know, I've had girlfriends. I'm not like some goober. I mean, I've had actual relationships. There has been times that in my past, I was at bars and I never really picked nobody up, but I had been picked up. I remember the first few times of this going on, and, you know, I always thought it was the other way around. I thought it was always the guy that was out hitting on and trying to just get laid. Well, I found out that it's just as much women as it is men. So, but I was bad about, like, I just have a hard time approaching a woman. I would rather, me personally, especially in this point in life, a friendship is way more important than anything else to me. And that's even including with, you know, if a relationship I'm having with anybody, male or female, and I'm not meaning sexually, is not of good nature, in the sense of, if I'm only in that relation with them to gain something from them, and it's not a reciprocal thing, or they're only around me or pretending to be my friend because of what they can get out of me, I don't need that kind of relationship. And if all they want from me is to fulfill their own desires, I don't need that either, because I'm not looking for that. I'm not just looking for somebody to just fulfill my desire and then I'm done, or that's the only thing I want from them. I like real conversation. I like to be able to, for me, I know I really like someone when just talking to somebody, not even talking about anything sexually. We just talking. We're talking about life. We're talking about God. We're talking about experience. We're talking about something we're both interested in. And you find yourself very attracted to that. You're like, that's how I really know there's chemistry. Like, if I feel a little bit like, ooh, like giddy, like, just out of a conversation that's a genuine, innocent conversation between two grown adults that are friends, that's the most beautiful thing to me. I think I've said enough. It's went into a 30-something minute video. But I wanted to say, yeah, because of the sermons for the past several weeks, going back into even January, it's been on about focus. I simply am trying to maintain my focus on my priority. And my priority should be, first and foremost, my relationship with God, with the Creator, with the big kahuna. When I put that first, everything else will start working out. And it is working out. I'm working on my lustful thoughts. Some of these things don't just disappear overnight. I've known people that have gotten so convicted that a lot of stuff drops off real quickly, but it works differently for everybody. I'm constantly, like, I'm doing good in one avenue, like with my alcohol and stuff. The adversary tries to come through another thing that I have that's a temptation. If they can tempt me with sexual things, it's just as bad as if I picked up the bottle. There's so many different things that we can be putting, like anything I put before what's most important, and I've done stated what is most important, and I'm trying to prioritize anything I put before that. It's like I'm putting that and I'm making it my God rather than being in a sincere, true relationship and trying my best to walk in the direction I know to be walking. But I hope this, I can't change it if it does. I was going to say, I hope that it doesn't offend you, any of what I talked about. I hope it doesn't turn you away from the channel. But I cannot change it if it does. I can't make someone stay subscribed or any of that. That's irrelevant. What I'm putting this out for, any of the videos that go out, it's for the people that it does get to, that it resonates with. If they get some sort of insight or help out of something that God has had me share or laid on my heart, then that's who it's for. And if someone sees something one day and they don't like what I'm saying or it's about, and they choose, then that's fine too, because, hey, at least it's getting to who needs it. And thank y'all for watching. Anyway, let me end it, because this is a little longer than the other video that I couldn't upload. And Lord knows it'll take forever to upload because I'm only using data. I've said that again. Until next time, it's Gray Cloud. Gray Cloud. Mr. Gray Cloud. Sage of the Eternal Moment. And we end our videos here with Ditto. Ditto is in honor of Sarah, who I mentioned earlier in this video, and I have said this at the end of several videos now over the past series of days. And that's just so that anybody new to the channel will start understanding why we end it. And in the comments, you'll see plenty of the people that have subscribed for a while. They know this. And a lot of times they'll comment to me and end their comment with ditto. And I say ditto back because that means I love you. That's how Sarah and I both, when we were out in public and stuff, it was my idea, but I said, I want to, it made it more special. Like sometimes we'd actually say the words, I love you, but when we were out in public, on the streets, maybe drinking, hanging out with a bunch of people, if she went her way where she had to go, or I had to go to my place, when we were parting, all I had to say if I was parting, walking away, ditto, Sarah. She'd just say, ditto, Gray Cloud. Everybody else is like, the hell is that about? So after she passed, it's something that I think it just honors her memory. And it's transcended from that to I want people to know this, and I want ditto to be, it's the thing, you know. I'm going to put it on a shirt. I'm going to put ditto, and it'll have an equal love. Say to the eternal moment, over and out, ditto.